Today I am going to show you in more detail how to do the Batman tutorial for the shapes practice. I have my shapes pulled up and I also have this assignment on Canvas pulled up. I'm going to zoom down to the bottom and I'm ready to go. So we are going to be using our pen tool today. So make sure that you hit P to double check you have the pen tool. We are not using the curvature tool. These look very similar, so make sure you hit P for the pen tool. I'm going to zoom in and get started. So over here it says it wants me to click, click, click. So all of the red dots stand for plain clicking. So click, 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 click. That is what a red dot means. Any blue dot that you see means that it wants you to click and drag off of that red dot. So red dots mean click, 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 except for the blue dot means it wants to click and drag. So I'm going to start off with number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So number 1, it wants me to click. Number 2, it wants me to click. Number 3, however, it wants me to click, and I am not unclicking, I am dragging up, and I get these little arms. That means, these little arms mean that it knows that I want to do a curved line eventually. However, there is a yellow dot attached over here. So over here there is a yellow dot, and that means it wants me to hold Alt to drag the handle and release. So it wants me to hold Alt to drag that arm down onto that yellow dot. So coming back here, I'm going to Command Z to undo. So I'm going to click number 1, click number 2, click and drag number 3. Number 4 is this handle up here. Then I'm going to hold Alt on my keyboard. I'm holding Alt on my keyboard right now, and that will allow me to move just one arm. I'm going to follow the motion that the picture shows. So the picture went like that. I'll do that one more time. So I'm up on number 4 and then down to number 5. Then I am releasing both the Alt key and my pen. Number 6 has a red dot, so that means a click, but it has a blue dot attached to it, so it is a click and drag. So I need to click and drag. And if yours is not perfect right now, you can either do one of two things. You can hit Command Z to redo it, or you can always fix this later. So click and drag. I'm double checking that there's not a yellow one attached, and I am good to unclick. Going up to number 8, I notice that number 8 has a blue and a yellow dot attached. So it wants me to click and drag that out and then hold down the Alt key to drag that to release it. What we're doing when we hold down the Alt key is we are just changing the direction of the line. So I'm going to click and drag, and then I'm going to click the Alt key and drag that back. Now I'm going to number 11 and 12. So number 11 wants me to go out, and number 12 says to drag down. Then I'll go to number 13. Number 13 has a blue and a yellow attached, so it wants me to click and drag that out, and then it wants me to hold Alt to drag that handle down and release it. So 13, 14, and then I am not going to release. My finger is still on my trackpad pushing down. I'm going to hold Alt to drag that up. Number 16 only has a blue dot attached, so that means it wants me to click and drag that a little bit. Number 18 has a blue and a yellow, so it wants me to click and drag and then hold Alt down. Click and drag, hold Alt down. And mine is not looking perfect, but I can go back in and fix that later. So it wants me to click and drag, hold Alt down, and then bring that around. Number 21 looks kind of tricky. So it says 21, click and drag, bring that out. So 21, click and drag, I'm holding Alt just to bring that out a little bit. And then number 14, it has me clicking and dragging to kind of round that out a little bit. Now it says at this point you can switch back to the selection tool to duplicate the line you made. So we eventually will be copying and pasting. So what I am going to do, I'm going to hit enter and enter again. Now my pen is no longer selected to this thing, to the line. I'm going to go in with my direct selection tool because mine is kind of wonky and I have some things that I think need to change. So my space between here and here is not very far. So I am going to go in and use my direct selection tool to kind of move these anchors around. And again, it might not look perfect, and that is okay. Okay, so that looks close enough. So what I'm going to do now is go in with my selection tool. I'm going to click on this line. Then what I am going to do is hit Command C, and that will copy my line. Then I need to hit Command V to paste that same line. Then just like it says on here, to flip it vertically, you go to Object, Transform, Reflect, and I need to make sure vertical is checked to reflect that shape. And then I can hit OK. So it just flipped that shape, that line for me. Then I can go in and line it up with my other Batman. If at this point your Batman does not line up correctly, you can then go in with the direct selection tool again to redo those points.
Good morning, Eagles. Just a friendly reminder that here in about 1 minute we will be in our PLC groups. We will see you there shortly.
Sorry about that. So the last step that you can do is you can actually click and drag to select both of those Batmans, and you can go up to your fill and fill that in. And there you have it. Make sure that when you're done you hit File, Save. We always want to save our work quite often.